guests and also to the half-empty hall. Thank you very much for the invitation. I know that we are getting at the end of the day, so I will try not to make you bored. For this reason, I chose to focus today on a project that comes from the future. It has a lot of technology, and it's a new narrative here in Greece. It's the electric mobility market. Of course, e-mobility is only one dish of the rich energy menu that we have for this year. So the rest of the main dishes, in a nutshell, and all the challenges that we have to face for this year at the ministry, if I can summarize them in titles, are 5. First of all, it's the electricity market and all the challenges that arise in the post-target model era. So this step, of course, is directly linked to our desire to achieve cheap energy for consumers, transparency in prices and competitiveness. I'm sure Mr. Ioannou will have more to say about that. The second biggest step is to have a bigger and faster penetration of renewables in Greece. So we all know that we need to add 8 more giga in installed power in the system from PV and wind. So we need serious investments. And from our side, what I can say on behalf of the ministry is that we will do our best to safeguard investment security, but also the viability of the industry of renewables. We will also wish, and we are planning to open new files in the ministry in other technologies like energy storage, hybrid, offshore floating, hydrogen. So these are new files that are coming. Then we have as a third plan in the ministry, of course, the national project of the Just Transition Plan. Of course, it will be one of the biggest challenges for the government, and you know how seriously the government has taken this responsibility to change the day after the shutting down of the lignite. So it's a chapter on its own, and we need to do our best in order to exploit, by all means, all the financial tools that are going to be allocated for this project. Then we have the energy efficiency in our building stock in Greece. Here we have a lot of things to do. Perhaps you might know that by November, we will launch our next program for the energy efficiency in buildings, an amount of 850 million euros for the next energy efficiency program in households. And the minister referred to that. Of course, one of another project that we're dealing with, of course, is the continuation of all these big energy infrastructure policies like interconnections, pipelines, etc. But today I will focus, as I said, to the e-mobility. So before we start reflecting that, I would like to ask you to pause for a moment and imagine an energy system where power generation is achieved through a diverse and decentralized network of energy units, such as your rooftop solar panels that are monitored intelligently, while the grid is able to manage supply and demand in real-time fashion. In fact, as nations move away from fossil fuels and toward net zero electricity systems, the energy structures we have come to know will have to change. So we are moving away from this centralized form revolving around a small number of power stations towards a decentralized form where cities, towns, houses, and even vehicles will act as mini power stations. Therefore, EVs, renewable energies, and storage systems, combined with all the new technological trends, such as artificial intelligence and Internet of Things, will be the medium for the future energy transition. And this is the rationale of our policy making at the Ministry of Environment. As we see electric vehicles as a key energy trend, linking together with the transport and energy sectors and unlocking great opportunities for growth. I think I will start here. I forgot the presentation. So I would like to take you from where Greece's electric mobility was a year ago to all the work we're doing to take Greece into the future. The lack of cohesive and holistic regulatory framework has left Greece with less than 1,000 plug-in vehicles on the road, and around, I think we have around 100 publicly accessible charging points to serve these vehicles. So we lag far behind the rest of EU countries in regards to e-mobility market development. When we started working on this project a year ago, our efforts at that time seemed quite utopian. What we did first was to set clear targets. So our main target, as reflected in the national plan, is both clear and realistic: reduce air pollution, improve environmental footprint of the transport sector in our country, and needless to mention that our transport sector in Greece is among the oldest, if not the oldest, when compared to all other European countries. So achieving this target will have a series of positive effects on everyday life of people, improving air quality, but also accessibility in cities. The 30% penetration of EVs in new car sales by 2030, this is the target that we have set as Greece, is a realistic and achievable target as long as we take some necessary measures. The first thing we had to do was to create the necessary regulatory framework that will allow the new mobility market to grow. As you all know, we have a new e-mobility law that was voted a couple of months ago, and this does exactly what I said. So it creates a set of tools and incentives that support the development of e-mobility, following the successive examples of other EU countries. So other activities to support the e-mobility bill include, as you remember, the signing of a Green Deal of 20 stakeholders. And in each, everyone was committed to specific actions towards the electrification of transport. And we have, as you said, the launch of this subsidy scheme called Go Electric, which offers grants for the purchase of electric vehicles. So the e-mobility bill, which recently passed through Parliament, includes provisions that organize the end-to-end value chain of EVs, while they make the purchase of EVs more attractive, especially for businesses. There is also a set of measures to push for the development of necessary charging infrastructure. So such provisions create very preferential conditions for the development of both the electric vehicles market and the charging services market, especially when it comes to the development of EV charging facilities. We have linked the tax-based incentives we offer with the use of 100% renewable energy. And of course, we all know that this is the ultimate goal, to create a green growth in transport with electric vehicles moving around by using green energy. The new e-bill has one important goal: the growth that comes as a result of EV adoption. We want to help boost the manufacturing industry, contribute in changing the production model of Greece, and create new jobs. That's why we have included in the bill certain provisions, such as tax-related tools and incentives. So having easy access to charging your vehicle is, on one side, a prerequisite for someone to choose an electric car, and on the other side, an opportunity for a brand new market to grow. And given the phase out of lignite is one of our main goals and a great opportunity for green economic growth, we have decided to support the lignite regions by offering specific incentives for the establishment of production facilities related to the e-mobility sector there. We offered preferential treatment through these incentives, such as the exemption, for example, from salary costs during construction phase of a production unit, or offering also the ability for over depreciation on the upfront capital costs. These are some of the measures that are being adopted for the first time in Greece, and that will help substantially on our effort to attract investments relating to manufacturing. We have also offered a reduction in tax rates by 5% for 5 years, as well also as fast-track procedures during licensing phase. The aim for us is clear: to make Greece the front runner of Southeast Europe, turning the country into a hub of R&D and production facilities, all related to e-mobility. You know that big international companies have entered the Greek market, already investing in the country. Groups such as the French ENGIE, the Blink company, Tesla, have shown trust on our efforts by setting up business here. So huge interest is also shown from large companies coming from the energy sector, such as PPC, Hellenic Petroleum, investing in charging services market. And adding to these, we're very happy when we meet smaller companies, Greek startups, which have either just started the production of charge points or are about to start producing electric scooters. I'm finishing. Let me just give a few numbers for the subsidy scheme called Go Electric. The initial results, this is a platform that is on the air for the last 3 weeks. And the initial results from the scheme are really impressive. In less than a month, we have received applications for as many electric vehicles as the total amount of sales over the last 4 years. And at the same time, yes, we have 350 for the moment applications for EV cars. And at the same time, we have noted a huge interest for electric bicycles, with people considering anymore e-bikes as a main way to move around. And you know, this is very important that we start changing the mentality of people to go to their job using an e-bike instead of taking the car. So we have made the first step, and the most decisive one, to change, as I said, the culture around transport in Greece and thus reduce emissions. And what else I have? I'm finishing. And so these kickstart e-mobility, I think we believe that will bring a revolution to the Greek transport sector. We offer direct subsidies for replacing conventional vehicles. And there we have also seen a significant number. We have, for the moment, around 600 applications for replacing, for withdrawing the cars and replacing them with EVs. So we provide tax-based incentives to businesses for the purchase of electric cars or the installation of charge points. And we have created also, as I said, this set of incentives to attract investments in the manufacturing value chain for e-mobility. Of course, this is not enough. We will also push the public sector to move towards e-mobility, because public sector fleets are also need to include electric vehicles. I used the word kickstart before simply because this is only the start. Next year, we plan to see many of our goals materialize. And we have some key priorities, and I finish with that for next year. First of all, it's the finalization of special plans created by local authorities that will locate the necessary charging infrastructure across the Greek cities. It's very important to have the deployment of electric cars, but we cannot make it if if cities don't create, charging infrastructure. So we will fund the mayors to accelerate the plan for charging stations. Then we have the continuation of the subsidy scheme by adding extra budget to it, so reaching a total of 100 million, and the creation of also a similar scheme for what I said, this time subsidizing publicly accessible charge points, and especially the fast charging ones. To summarize, for us in the ministry, e-mobility is not just an electric car on the road. It's not just a charger at a shopping mall. E-mobility is a complete solution to reduce emissions, to improve quality of life, and create a new green economy with high growth prospects. So I can only close by saying to come and join us on this journey towards Greek transport. So I will enforce at least authorities like the DIE or Χρηματιστήριο to change your fleet to electric, and also move with the installation of charging stations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. SDOUKOU. Very impressive numbers. It is astonishing to see that we have 300, as you said, the number of electric cars that have been ordered already for this 25 days is the same as the orders that we had over the past 4 years. So we can reach a target. Maybe by the end of the year, we should have more than what the whole electric fleet in the country has been so far. So which is very astonishing. And it shows that there is a very well thought plan behind it. You have mentioned that in your speech. It seems that it's not only a well thought plan, but also the implementation seems to be very good, because you have the whole ecosystem, the tax incentives, the concept with the municipalities, that they all need to be part of this game. And I think this was the spirit from the signature of these 20 key stakeholders that you mentioned earlier, that we understand it's not only a utility, an energy company, or simply the municipalities or the ministries. Everybody have to work together to make this